Greetings everyone, this is RasCas and I'm going to go through an overview of my AP Physics 1 2020 review series. So in this short video I'm going to go through the AP syllabus and introduce you to some of the terminologies as well as some of the skills and strategies that the exam and syllabus focus on, and I'm also going to offer some justification to this approach overall. So let's start with the justification. As educators, we tend to frown upon the idea of teaching to the exam, and this is because we feel limited by the scope of a syllabus, and exams and grades are seen as extrinsic motivators that reinforce superficial understanding and cramming. But on the flip side to that, I would say that this AP exam has been redesigned recently and is very much UBD or understanding by design oriented. It focuses heavily on skills and application, and you really cannot do very well on this new AP Physics exam if you only have superficial understanding. In addition to which, there's been a lot of people with a lot of experience that have come together to put this together, and I think it's a really solid syllabus and exam and approach to teaching physics. And so I think that focusing on this exam is actually focusing on a deep understanding and encouraging that. The other criticism would be that it's going to be fast-paced, and that's because this is something to help out students at the end of having studied physics for years. This is really trying to bring all the ideas together. Alright, so AP Physics syllabus can be found at that link, and just to give you an idea, the course is split up into science practices as well as content, and the practices are these 7 things here. So these 7 science practices cut across all the content, and you can see the descriptions here. They're also there at the syllabus. Any question on the exam is going to be asking you as a student to use one or more of these practices and apply it to the content. So it's all application. There is no recall here. In terms of the content, it's really cool that this syllabus has been designed around big ideas. For the 2020 syllabus, waves is not going to be there for the 2020 exam. So it's just going to be these 5 ideas. Systems, the idea that you can view something, an object, as one entity, or if you look at the internal structure of the object, you can view it as a system. Or if you have multiple objects at a certain scale, if you scale out or zoom out, you can view those multiple objects together as a system. That has implications for big idea number 5, conservation, which we'll come to in a bit. Fields really is going to be limited to gravitational fields. Forces as interactions, that's an interesting way to put it, and a really accurate way. A force is an interaction between objects. So Newton's third law should be quite clear there. There are always 2 objects involved in forces. And then the idea of change is going to come up all the time. So these are the 7 units that are going to be on this year's syllabus. Under each of these units, there are topics. And in each topic page, there's going to be these terms, enduring understandings, which are like the big ideas, broken down a little bit to be specific to that unit and topic. The learning objective is really what you want to focus on. That's what you need to be able to do. And the essential knowledge is really very limited. That's like what you might want to be able to regurgitate, but it's not going to help you that much just to have that knowledge. It's really all about the learning objectives. What can you do with that knowledge? And as you see in this example, SP 1.4, 2.2, SP 1.5, those are the science practices. So the learning objective really pulls in the knowledge and the science practices together. And so here are the big ideas. Now what I would like to point out is that big idea number 5 about conservation really doesn't make any sense unless you have a sense of systems, because when you talk about conservation of energy or momentum or angular momentum or charge, that all works within the context of a system and defining what is your system. And so I would tend to group that with systems. And if we do that and leave out the stuff that is not on this year's syllabus, then this seems like a much more manageable framework, right? We have these 4 groups of ideas: systems and conservation, fields, forces, change across these 7 units. This series is going to take these big ideas and these units and these science practices, and I'm hoping to pull these together to give you strategies for solving problems with actual AP questions. So I look forward to helping you out and hope to remind you that, and convince you, I guess, that physics is fun.